We're opening this list with a physics-based platformer. This is a sequel to the Black Blobs we've known since 2008 and the developer's biggest game yet. World of Goo 2 promises to delight us with inventive puzzles as much as the original did 15 years ago. Help these adorable goos clear levels by weaponizing their goo powers. With new goo types, expect more combos and complexities. Having played the first game, I'm expecting a lot from it. Releasing on the Switch on August 2nd. Just a few days later is another sequel. Cat Quest is launching on August 8th. It's been 5 years since our last open-world cat adventure. In Cat Quest 3, the oceans are the new frontier. Play as a pirate and sail the open seas with your trusty ship. There are whole new kingdoms to explore in its improved 2.5D world. Scour the Caribbean and fend off would-be plunderers. A wider map to cover means more hidden treasures to hunt and more secrets to uncover. Pirates are in this year. SteamWorld Heist sequel also takes us to the high seas. Join Captain Leeway and his ragtag crew in a grand adventure to plunder and explore the wonders of the Great Sea. Rocking that steampunk flair, your steambot is armed to the teeth with an assortment of weapons. Master bullet trajectories and conquer the oceans in satisfying turn-based battles. SteamWorld Heist 2 also releases on August 8th. This is made for every Gunpla enthusiast out there. Gundam Breaker 4's diverse build customizations offer players a haven of possibilities. Create your ultimate Gundam from over 250 base kits. Decals, weathering, paint jobs, and more can net you hours and hours of testing. With the amount of customizations, you might even forget the PvP mode. Releasing on August 29. The next Ace Attorney game puts Phoenix right in the sidebar. Ace Attorney Investigations is about Miles Edgeworth and his prowess as a prosecutor. This remastered version is a far cry from the series' traditional visual novel format. Investigations blend point-and-click with adventure elements. Together with familiar characters from the Ace Attorney series, investigate court cases to solve impossible crimes, cross-examine witnesses, and uncover the truth from its selection of 10 major cases.
When it comes to Quidditch, we've all wondered, do I have what it takes to be the next Quidditch star?
The next Harry Potter game finally has Quidditch, and it's just all about Quidditch. Quidditch Champions is Warner Brothers' version of FIFA. It's a multiplayer sports game where teams duke it out to win a goal. If you've seen the movies, you already know how this works. If the execution is good enough, it could be a fun multiplayer game to play with friends. And knowing the fandom behind the Wizarding World's favorite game, there's bound to be a massive competitive scene following its release on September 3. This was Nintendo's biggest announcement last June. This is the Legend of Zelda game with a playable Zelda with adorable lighthearted chibi visuals of Link's Awakening. In Echoes of Wisdom, Zelda takes the limelight. Equipped with a Tri-Rod, traverse the mystifying lands of Hyrule. Use your powerful spells to manipulate the environment and fight foes using echoes. As you conjure everyday objects to your advantage, you could even use a bed for some nifty platforming. We don't have to wait that long. It releases on September 26.
I will devote my life to the good of Avalon, so that the destiny of our Imperial forebears may one day be fulfilled.
A full remake of the groundbreaking JRPG from Square Enix, Romancing Saga 2 sees the return of the Empire of Varennes in full glory. Take on the role of its ruler and lead a band of heroes to defeat the vengeful 7 heroes. Its non-linear story is rife with possibilities. The once 2D pixel sprites of the classic are now remade into full 3D. This completely adds a fresh perspective for fans of the series. The combat remains the same turn-based combat, but it comes with accessibility options to help players tinker with old-school or modern controls. The latest Mario Party game goes all out with its friendship-breaking shenanigans. Jamboree offers 7 jam-packed boards with over 110 minigames for you and your friends. Whether you want to take a splash in Goomba Lagoon or search for stars on the Rainbow Galeria board, the choice is yours. Fans of the classic can also revisit Western Land and Mario's Rainbow Castle. This is the ultimate Mario Party game, and Nintendo wants everyone to get along, as if that could happen. Ubisoft's annual dancing game returns with all new songs to groove with. Just Dance 2025 edition celebrates music and dancing with a selection of 40 tunes from popular artists. This upcoming version will feature multiple difficulty levels for selected songs, ideal for players who want to ramp things up for a sweaty session. You could even tune up with a friend in multiplayer mode and sweat it out together. As usual, owning this game can get you 1 free month of Just Dance Plus, Ubisoft's subscription-based service, so you can have more songs to dance to. It's not a Nintendo Switch list without a farming game. Farmagia actually twists the usual 10-tier crops genre into an interesting JRPG. You not only cultivate plants, but you also tend to a growing army of monsters. With your swarm of monsters at hand, lead them to battle against a tyrannical ruler. Make friends with various NPCs and work together to save the people of Felicidad. It's a curious case of using the power of friendship and a green thumb. 7 years into the Switch's lifespan, we get another entry to the Mario series. Mario and Luigi are back. Nintendo's dynamic duo returns with a whole new adventure. Brothership takes the iconic brothers into the newest original entry since Paper Jam. Traverse the SeaWorld of Concordia using their shape-shifting ship. This uncharted territory is home to many challenges that await the plumbers. Work together as brothers side by side with new evolved moves.
Is this red guy?
After its successful Kickstarter campaign, this action platformer blasts its way to Switch consoles. Antonblast's explosive presentation is made for players who enjoy chaotic levels and tight platforming controls. Retrieve Anton's stolen booze and smash through obstacles, enemies, and bosses using his trusty hammer. Its high-energy gameplay and the 2D retro visuals deliver an experience that feels just like the classic platformers. Square Enix takes the beloved Edric trilogy to new audiences with this reimagining of Dragon Quest III. This HD 2D remake revitalizes the classic JRPG with gorgeous modern graphics, transforming the 8-bit world into a vibrant 3D environment with a mix of pixel art style. It combines nostalgia with fresh visuals, making it perfect for both longtime fans and new adventurers. This is the first of the many Dragon Quest games to get the modern treatment, with remakes of Dragon Quest I and II also coming next year. Metal Slug is back, but it's not the same game we grew up with. Tactics twist the heavy artillery action of the original into a strategy game. It still has that stylized retro look, but the fast-paced combat is now a turn-based experience. Now you don't need to run and gun your way to victory. Tactics requires you to use your brain power to overwhelm your enemies. This completely new direction is a surprise for old fans of the series. Despite this change, a lot of players are still looking forward to this fresh take on the cult classic. The first Sony game to grace Nintendo consoles, LEGO Horizon Adventures is a bite-sized recreation of Aloy's journey across post-apocalyptic America. Now transformed into LEGO pieces, explore the machine-filled future and use LEGO signature blocks to your advantage. Build or craft your way across Horizon's memorable levels. Have a friend tag along and co-op and survive this sci-fi world together. The cute cat game everyone was obsessed with is finally coming to Nintendo Switch after 2 years. Help this lonely kitten find its way home after being separated from its family. Work your way through a bleak dystopian world teeming with alien bugs and robots. The lack of humanity in its setting is ironic considering you're meeting machines with a heart. Solve puzzles, bounce through rooftops, and make friends in your effort to return home. The past few years have been great for TMNT fans. This brand new brawler takes place after the events of the movie Mutant Mayhem, and it's going to be in 3D. Borrowing from its predecessors, this is a beat-em-up where you control your favorite turtles. If you're having a hard time, you can play with friends in 2-player co-op. It doesn't have the retro flair of other titles. Instead, it seems to follow the 3D style of the movie Mutant Mayhem, the Gen Z attitude straight from the movie. It's set to release later this year. What concerns me is that there's still no gameplay footage. One of the most celebrated Disney platformers on the Wii is finally coming to the Switch and other consoles. Rebrushed takes all the best of the original and improves it with fresh graphics and gameplay. It sees the return of Mickey Mouse and his surreal adventure to familiar Disney worlds. With Mickey's magical paintbrush, he manipulates the world around him by drawing and erasing objects. New movement options like dashing and sprinting make gameplay faster and fresher than ever. The Land of Fumes awaits in this brand new chapter of the Ender series. Taking place in a toxic shrouded world, step into the shoes of an amnesiac tuner on a quest to recover lost memories and uncover the truth. The gameplay is a major improvement from Ender Lilies. Magnolia offers a wide variety of unique skills that cater to each player's style. Movement is much faster as well, allowing players to navigate around tricky Metroidvania levels with ease. The game is currently on Steam's Early Access if you want to give it a try. The game that took everyone for a ride during June's Direct, Marvel vs. Capcom, is finally back. This collection has everything you need to experience one of the greatest fighting game series ever. It's packed with 7 hits from our favorite Marvel vs. Capcom games, including the elusive first and second entry. This also comes with classic heavy hitters like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Children of the Atom, and even the beat-em-up Punisher game. Neva is the latest game from the creators of Grizz. I'm sure this beautiful and emotional adventure will break our hearts just as Grizz did. Neva is a story of a young girl named Alba and her wolf cub. Their journey unfolds in a world on the brink of decay. They must learn how to work together and overcome traumatic encounters with dark forces. The game's combat will be more complicated than in Grizz, but accessible enough for new players. We don't have an exact release date yet, but it's scheduled to launch sometime this year.
The formidable Wardens of the North, hailed vanquishers of the Dark Wings.
Whisker's a Winner is a sequel to the 2D Souls-like about battle-hardened animals. Set in a world blanketed in snow, follow Arlo in his quest to overcome the Dark Wings. Narrated by Doug Cockle, the voice of Geralt of Rivia, this action RPG is home to many fearsome monsters to slay. The lands of the North are a dangerous place. Hunt down giant beasts in challenging 2D combat. Craft powerful gear and take matters into your own hands as you brave through the wintry realm. This is one of my most anticipated games of the year, a whimsical action-adventure that creatively blends 2D and 3D gameplays. The Plucky Squire puts players into the life and adventures of a courageous apprentice knight, uses powers to leap off the pages of his storybook and into a vibrant 3D world. The seamless transition from 2D to 3D makes the Plucky Squire's gameplay a novelty. I'm itching to play it when it comes out later this year. A video game adaptation of John Carpenter's celebrated horror classic, this is a remaster of the cult favorite survival horror game from 2002. Universal Pictures' attempt at making a Resident Evil-like horror game. Night Dive Studios takes the reins with this reimagining, preserving its Lovecraftian terrors and remastering it for modern audiences. It's expected to release sometime this year.